Well, we played defense at Texas Tech. I was really proud of Shield Wood and his coaching staff. There were times in the game that we felt like we could open it up, and we just couldn't get out of our own way. Too many penalties and things that we got to address. I feel responsible for that, but we will. But I was proud of the way our guys just kept fighting. Man, we've got a good football team, and they care a lot about each other. There's a lot of things that are said about our team, and there's a lot of things written about the cost of the roster and this and that. I would challenge anybody to have a closer locker room, guys that care more about wearing the double T, that care more about themselves, and that shows up in tight games. And they definitely hung together and fought their tails off, and then we were able to make some big plays. And J-Rod, our goal is always to take 3. We took 4 today, and it took all 4 to kind of open that game up. But man, we just came in to a place that very few people come into and win games. Y'all know my woes as a head coach on the road. We've had a tough time. I thought our guys handled it like pros with an early kick, and man, I couldn't be more proud of what we did today. So with that, open up with questions.
Coach, Will Hammond came in the second half to lead the offense most of the second half. What did you think of his performance and kind of the poise he showed out there?
He's a dude, man. He's a guy that's played. He played TCU last year. We gave up a late lead. Wasn't him. Played in the Arkansas game. He got every snap in the spring when Derek Barron was going through all his shoulder rehab and everything. And so he's taken a lot of reps. But the one thing, we really feel, and I know this is coach speak to a lot of people, but the standard is the standard. If you walk on that field and you're wearing the double T, there's only one way to play, and you go out and you execute the game plan. And I thought he did a great job. And we've got some big playmakers. They were going to give us some one-on-one shots, and we were able to take them and win enough to really stretch the lead and win the game.
Bear, Joey, what's the kind of update on him? You have anything?
Yeah, he's good. He was in the locker room, gave me a big hug, and said congratulations. It's always tough. I mean, that hit that he took, man, that was. I know everybody saw it, man. That was a big hit. We came in, evaluated him. They came back out and said, hey, man, he's doing really, really good. He's in a good spot. So feel good. We're lucky that we have a bye week, because we've got some guys that are what I call football banged up, and that allow us to get some guys back, for the Houston game. But feel good. He was in there celebrating with the team and, gave me a big hug. And I know he's frustrated because, he wants to be out there and he wants to be the guy, leading us down the field. But he'll be back and be ready to go.
Barron plays tough, but when he gets up after that hit, he's holding on to Davion Carter's jersey, just trying to keep his balance. What did you hear from him? No,
he wasn't trying to keep his balance. He was trying to stay in the game. In fact, there was a couple of times that he said, Mike, I'm good, leave me alone. It's more that than anything, And then, man, you take a shot like that, and I'm going to have to watch it in a couple of different ways. They called it a no targeting call. I'll have to watch it. Those guys, that was a good crew today. They do a really good job, and so I'm sure it wasn't. But, Barron, in fact, there was a point that big hit. He was going to at one point stay on the field, and we were like, hey, let's just get you checked out because he didn't want to come out.
Hammond has been in this role before of being the backup when Barron goes down with an injury, but this is a statement win by all means. As a student of the game, what did you kind of see from him that's translated into him becoming more of a veteran quarterback now?
Again, we expect him to go out there and do that. We feel really good about him. The one thing that a lot of people struggle with is knowing their role. And then when they're called on to play their role, they're not ready because they've, either been sulking or feeling sorry for themselves or thinking they should get more. The great thing about Will Hammond, he's extremely mature. He knows exactly what his role is right now on this team, and that is to be our backup quarterback. And when he comes in the game, we're going to run our offense. I mean, you go back to week 1, week 2, week 3, there's a lot of coaches possibly that come out and you're up by 50, whatever we were up, and you don't run your offense. You hand the ball off and try to get out. That was one thing that we didn't do with Will is, he came out and he ran the game plan and executed the game plan at a high level. So we expected him to do that today, and the one thing that he does add a little bit that y'all see is, we're going to run him a little bit more in the quarterback run game, and so that helped because that added another hat and kept the chains moving.
Obviously, J-Rod's known for his punch-out ability. Ben got one as well today.
Yeah.
During the week, what goes into making sure those plays can have a chance to happen?
Well, a couple things. One, every single day I send something about takeaways to the coaches. I mean, not to the coaches, to the players. So this week, the Utah got a ball knocked out. I don't think that they recovered it, but they got a ball knocked out against Wyoming. They got a ball that UCLA did recover. So I sent both of those plays, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday. We felt like we could block a kick. Frustrating right there at the end to get that penalty. But sent that to them. And then this morning I sent them a 30-second video of Peanut Tillman. Because I did feel like when you're playing a game like this, and it's going to be such a defensive battle, every extra possession you can get for your offense makes such a huge difference. And today it did, we don't get those turnovers in the second half, then we can't hold the lead.
Joey, you mentioned it earlier, there's been a lot made in the offseason about your roster.
Yeah.
The value of it. What did you prove, especially on the lines, what you got in there right now?
Yeah, I think number one, I feel like we got the best GM in the country, and he's a great evaluator. I think he did a good job with the coaches of evaluating the guys that we have. We have the best boosters in the country by far. Cody's in here, Mr. Cash is in here, Gordon Davis is in here. His wife's in here. Her name's on my office, so it's the Joyce Davis head coach's office. So we've got some incredible, and if I missed any of our boosters, I'm sorry, but man, we just have some incredible guys that went all in. And then my job was, and it still is, because we got a long ways. This is game one of the Big 12 play. But my job was to create this team and get them to care about each other and love each other. And, we just continue to use what everybody else is saying about us to prove everybody wrong.
As of right now, does Barron start next week?
Well, we got a bye week, so no.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
How are you going to attack the bye?
We've got a bunch of young guys that need some reps. We'll get Cash Cleveland back. We'll get Ellis Davis back. Those two. Amir should be in good shape. So happy for Duda Banks. Duda Banks had a little girl this morning at 3:25. He's a dad, so happy for Duda. But we'll get some of those young guys back. So really, we'll let these old guys. We'll do like Indy and a little bit of 7-on-7 to keep them sharp and run the hell out of them to keep them in shape and really practice our young guys these first like Tuesday and Wednesday practice, because we've got some guys that we feel like can help us. That we need to get them going, and it's going to be good. Like Cash Cleveland is one of them. To at least he'll create depth in that interior offensive line at center and guard. And so it's going to be good to have him back.
How do you plan on attacking the abundance of penalties today?
Yeah, I really blame myself. Like, I talked to a lot of people today, or not today, through the week about how loud this place was. And it was really real loud. I was impressed with their crowd. I mean, when their defense steps on the field, it goes to a whole nother level. Their defense, helps create that. But the big thing, I do think once we started huddling, and because there was a lot of times with our offense, we have a lot of different motions and stuff, and those once those offensive line knows they're going to have to pass block number 90, who's a great player, and 0's a great player. They've got really good defensive players. 8's a really good defensive player. We kind of held them in their stance a little bit too long. That was part of it. We got to work a silent count. We talked about it. We decided not to do it. We've never had to use that on the road before, but this was a loud place, so we'll go into that right there and talk about, some of that stuff, because that was frustrating because, really what we saw at the end could have easily happened in the first half if we don't have the procedure penalties that we have.
With 19 NFL scouts here, obviously they're here for the marquee matchups you talked about earlier this week, but how important was it for the other guys that maybe don't get as much limelight to have these people here?
Yeah, I think it's good for all our guys, our young guys, our old guys, because we got, they get to see Will Hammond, they get to see Jacoby Williams and Cam Dickey, what a run at the end to keep his feet going to pop that touchdown. Jacob Ponton, who's a redshirt freshman. So it's good for these guys, that they know that this is going to be but a big crowd. There was a moment in the game, though, where we were kind of out of whack. I told everybody to take a deep breath and look around, man. Like, how lucky are we? We're lucky because we get to play in front of the best crowd in the country, the best fan base in the country. But how lucky are we to be in a moment like this? And, man, I thought they embraced it and attacked it, and we did some really good things.
You harp on culture a lot. For a win like this, how long do you give them to, celebrate it before you sit them back down and say,
yeah, 24 hours. We'll put the film to bed tomorrow, and then they'll have their normal off day on Monday. We'll come back Tuesday and really start attacking the old guys, attacking, feeling great and being in shape and get the young guys going. But they'll get 24 hours, and then I'll find something to yell about, and we'll get going again.